God says sometimes life brings a quiet moment where you are invited to pause and truly listen. Not with fear, not with pressure, but with awareness. Many people move through their days quickly, thinking about the next task, the next responsibility, or the next worry. But there are rare moments when you feel something deeper calling your attention, almost like a gentle reminder that your life is more meaningful than the routine you may have fallen into. This message is not meant to scare you or push you into panic. Instead, it is meant to invite you to slow down and remember that your life still holds purpose, direction, and possibility. There have been times when you felt uncertain about your path. Maybe you wondered if your choices were leading you where you truly wanted to go. Maybe you questioned whether the effort you were putting into your life would eventually create the future you hoped for. These thoughts are natural because every person experiences moments of reflection. When you start asking these questions, it often means that something inside you is ready for growth. Reflection is not weakness, it is the beginning of clarity. God says when people ignore moments of reflection, they sometimes continue repeating the same patterns without realizing it. They keep moving in the same direction simply because it feels familiar. But growth often begins when you pause and honestly look at your life. Are your habits supporting your goals? Are your thoughts encouraging you to move forward, or are they holding you back with doubt? When you become aware of these things, you gain the power to change them. Another important truth is that your life is constantly offering you opportunities to improve your direction. These opportunities may not always appear as dramatic events. Often they appear as small realizations, new ideas, or moments when you suddenly understand something about yourself more clearly. When you listen to these moments, you begin to make better choices. Your actions become more intentional, and your path becomes easier to understand. God says silence is sometimes the space where you hear your own inner wisdom most clearly. When the noise of distractions fades, your mind becomes calm enough to recognize what truly matters. In that quiet awareness you may realize that your future does not have to follow the same patterns as your past. You can learn new skills, create healthier habits, and build a life that reflects your values and your growth. You might also notice that the more you pay attention to your thoughts and decisions, the more confident you become. Confidence is not something that appears overnight. It develops gradually as you see yourself making better choices and moving closer to your goals. Each step forward strengthens your belief in your ability to continue improving. God says the message reaching you right now is not about fear or urgency. It is about awareness. When you choose to listen to moments of reflection, you give yourself the opportunity to grow into a wiser and more focused version of yourself. The future you build depends on the decisions you begin making today. Remember that your story is still unfolding. Every day you have the chance to create new pages filled with learning, progress, and meaningful experiences. When you remain open to growth and honest reflection, you allow your life to move in a direction that feels more purposeful and fulfilling. God says as you continue listening to this message, understand that life often gives you quiet signals long before big changes happen. These signals are not loud announcements or dramatic events. They are small feelings inside your heart, gentle thoughts that ask you to pause and think about the direction of your life. Many people ignore these moments because they are busy with daily responsibilities, worries, or distractions. But when you truly take a moment to listen, you may begin to notice that something inside you is asking for growth, clarity, and a deeper understanding of your purpose. There may have been periods in your life when everything felt uncertain. You might have been working hard while wondering if your effort would ever lead to something meaningful. You may have questioned whether your path was the right one or if you should be doing something different. These feelings are not unusual. Every person who is trying to improve their life experiences moments like these. The important thing is not to avoid those questions but to allow them to guide you toward reflection and awareness. God says reflection is one of the most powerful tools you have for shaping your future. When you reflect on your experiences, you begin to understand what has helped you grow and what may have slowed your progress. This awareness allows you to make better decisions moving forward. Instead of repeating the same patterns without thinking, you begin to act with intention. You become more careful about how you spend your time, how you respond to challenges, and how you invest your energy. Another important truth is that silence can sometimes reveal the answers you have been searching for. When life becomes quiet and your mind slows down, you may begin to notice ideas and realizations that were hidden by the noise of daily life. These moments of clarity are valuable because they help you understand what truly matters to you. They remind you that your life is not only about routine tasks but also about growth, purpose, and meaningful experiences. God says when people ignore these moments of awareness, they sometimes continue walking the same path without realizing that a better direction may exist. But when you allow yourself to listen and reflect, you open the door to change. Change does not mean abandoning everything you have built. It simply means adjusting your perspective and choosing actions that align more closely with the future you want to create. You may also discover that your mindset has a powerful influence on your journey. When your thoughts are filled with doubt or negativity, your motivation becomes weaker. But when you begin to believe that improvement is possible, your actions start to reflect that belief. Confidence grows gradually as you see yourself making thoughtful decisions and moving forward with greater clarity. God says patience is also important during this process. Many people expect immediate answers and instant results, but meaningful growth often takes time. Just like a seed needs time to grow into a strong tree, your personal and spiritual development requires patience and consistency. Each day you practice awareness and positive thinking, you strengthen the foundation of the life you are building. Gratitude can also help you maintain balance during this journey. When you take time to appreciate the lessons you have already learned and the progress you have made, your perspective becomes more positive. Gratitude reminds you that even small steps forward are valuable and worth recognizing. God says the message reaching you today is a reminder that your life is still full of possibilities. You are not limited by the mistakes or uncertainties of the past. Every new day offers you a chance to learn, grow, and move in a direction that feels more meaningful and aligned with your purpose. God says as you continue to listen and reflect on these words, understand that every life journey includes moments when you are gently invited to pause and look at your path more carefully. These moments are not interruptions, they are opportunities to become more aware of where you are going and who you are becoming. In the fast pace of everyday life, People often move from one responsibility to another without giving themselves the space to think deeply about their direction. Yet the most meaningful changes often begin when you slow down long enough to recognize what your heart and mind are trying to tell you. There may have been times when you felt uncertain about your purpose or wondered whether you were moving in the right direction. These thoughts are not signs of weakness, they are signs that you are becoming more aware of your life. When you begin asking deeper questions about your future, it means you are ready to grow. Reflection helps you notice the habits, decisions, and influences that shape your daily experiences. Once you see these patterns clearly, you gain the power to adjust them and move forward with greater intention. God says growth does not always happen in dramatic or obvious ways. Often it begins quietly through small changes in your thinking. You might start paying more attention to how you spend your time or become more mindful about the conversations and ideas you allow into your life. These subtle shifts can gradually transform the way you see your future. When your mindset becomes more thoughtful and intentional, your actions naturally begin to follow that direction. Another important truth is that life continuously offers chances to learn from your experiences. Even moments that once felt disappointing can become valuable lessons when you look at them with a new perspective. Instead of seeing them as failures, you can view them as experiences that help you understand yourself more clearly. This understanding strengthens your ability to make wiser choices in the future. God says patience is essential during times of reflection and growth. Many people feel pressure to have every answer immediately, but real understanding often develops slowly. Just as a tree takes years to grow strong roots before reaching its full height, your personal growth requires time and consistent effort. Each step you take toward awareness and improvement adds stability to the life you are building. You may also notice that when you take time to listen to your thoughts and feelings, your confidence begins to grow. Confidence does not come from always knowing exactly what to do, it comes from trusting your ability to learn and adapt. When you believe that you can handle challenges and continue improving, you approach life with a calmer and more focused mindset. God says gratitude can help you remain balanced during this journey. When you appreciate the lessons you have already learned and the progress you have made, you create a positive environment within your mind. Gratitude reminds you that even small steps forward are meaningful and worth acknowledging. This perspective allows you to continue growing without unnecessary pressure or frustration. It is also important to recognize the influence of the people and environments around you. Conversations that encourage learning, positivity, and thoughtful reflection can inspire you to keep improving. When you spend time with individuals who value growth and understanding, their mindset can strengthen your own determination to move forward. God says the message reaching you today is not about urgency or fear. It is about awareness. When you take time to listen to moments of reflection, you allow yourself to grow into a wiser and more focused version of yourself. The future you create will be shaped by the awareness, patience, and intention you bring to each day. Remember that your story is still unfolding. Every day offers a new opportunity to write another page filled with learning, progress, and meaningful experiences. When you remain open to reflection and committed to growth, your journey becomes more purposeful and fulfilling. God says as you continue to listen to this message, remember that every moment of awareness in your life carries meaning. Many people spend years moving through life quickly, focusing only on responsibilities and daily routines, rarely pausing long enough to understand the deeper direction of their journey. But there are certain moments when life invites you to slow down and pay attention. These moments are not accidents. They are opportunities to reconnect with your thoughts, your purpose, and the path you want to follow moving forward. There may have been times when you felt uncertain about your future. Perhaps you wondered whether your efforts were leading you in the right direction or whether you should change something about the way you approach your life. These thoughts often appear when you are ready for growth. Reflection allows you to see things more clearly. When you take the time to examine your experiences, you begin to recognize the patterns that shape your decisions and your results. God says every experience in your life has taught you something valuable. Even the situations that once felt difficult or confusing carried lessons that strengthened your understanding. At the time, those lessons may not have been easy to recognize, but as you look back you may notice how they helped you become more patient, more thoughtful, and more aware of your own strengths. These qualities are important because they prepare you to make wiser choices in the future. Another important truth is that meaningful change often begins with a shift in perspective. When you begin to see your life through a lens of learning rather than regret, your mindset becomes more positive and constructive. Instead of focusing only on what did not work in the past, you start focusing on what you can do differently now. This shift gives you the power to move forward with greater clarity and confidence. God says silence and reflection can help you hear the deeper wisdom within your own thoughts. When distractions fade and your mind becomes calm, you may begin to notice ideas or realizations that guide you toward improvement. These realizations might encourage you to develop new habits, learn new skills, or approach your goals with a different attitude. Each small realization becomes a step toward a more intentional life. Patience is also an essential part of this process. Many people expect immediate answers or instant results, but true growth usually unfolds gradually. Just like a seed takes time to grow into a strong tree, your personal development requires consistent effort and time. Each day that you choose to act with awareness adds another layer of strength to the foundation of your future. God says gratitude can help you maintain balance during this journey. When you take time to appreciate the lessons you have learned and the progress you have already made, your mind becomes calmer and more focused. Gratitude reminds you that growth does not always appear as dramatic change. Sometimes it appears as quiet improvement in the way you think, the way you respond to challenges, and the way you make decisions. You may also notice that the people around you influence your mindset more than you realize. Conversations filled with encouragement and positivity can inspire you to keep moving forward. When you surround yourself with individuals who value growth and understanding, their perspective can strengthen your own determination to improve. God says the message reaching you today is not meant to create fear or pressure. Instead, it is a reminder that your life contains many opportunities for reflection and growth. When you choose to listen to these moments of awareness, you allow yourself to become more thoughtful, more patient, and more confident about the direction of your journey. Remember that your story is still being written. Each day offers a new page, and the choices you make today will shape the chapters that follow. When you approach life with awareness and a willingness to learn, you give yourself the chance to create a future filled with purpose and understanding. If this message resonated with you, comment, "I choose awareness and growth." Like this video if you believe reflection can guide you toward a better path, and subscribe if you want to continue hearing messages that encourage clarity, patience, and confidence as you move forward in life.